Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
You're watching Go Island, the weekend edition here on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Rayanne LaPlante. We're here at the Port Theatre discussing the possibility of a community performing arts center. Now, if the art center does go through, it's going to look something like this. It's going to have 3 rehearsal halls and 1 theatre. It'll definitely be a new chapter for Nanaimo in our cultural history. Another chapter, but a closing chapter, is the retirement of Nanaimo Museum's curator, David Hill Turner. We take a look at his career highlights and what he's going to do after retirement. I have an idea for you, David. Why not a trip? I met up with a lady who got laid off from her job, and instead of looking for a new one or retiring, she decided to take a 15-month-long journey across North America. We're here today at the Port Theatre for the open house of the planning stages of what will potentially be a community performing arts. Now, since the design and opening of the Port Theatre in 1998, it's always been a concept to have this. So why has it always been a dream for the Port Theatre?
Absolutely. Well, many art centers across North America and around the world are much more than just one facility. So having a performance facility like this, like the 800-seat Port Theatre, you need alternative spaces. You need extra spaces to do rehearsals in while the main stage is going on. The early dreams of the Port Theatre was to have that, a rehearsal hall for shows before they came into the main stage, and much more than that, and a place for community groups to come in and do smaller performances. So the dream has evolved over the years from being just one room, one rehearsal space, to being a complex where there'll be 3 rehearsal spaces plus a 220-seat performance center. So it really is changed. It has changed over the years how community groups want to use spaces. They want alternative spaces, smaller spaces, more intimate. Obviously, some shows still need the 800 seats, but not everybody.
And when you say expanding and so on, I remember the Port Theatre for a number of years didn't have enough carpets, and I say it was kind of a struggle to get the financing.
And I won't say it's a struggle. I'll say that we did not have carpet for many years. Intentionally, absolutely. Our priorities were to finish the theatrical systems in the theatre and put our capital investment in making sure the shows were optimized. As we grew and as we finished systems or developed systems, we freed up money to put carpet in the lobby for audience services. So we will always be strategic in our planning and keep our priorities on the performance, because the art is what's important.
And this new concept, this new building is going to have 3 rehearsal halls and then 1 theater.
Yes.
So is there a need for that much space?
Absolutely there is. Rehearsal halls, for example, let's say a professional theater company. They need a rehearsal hall for 3 weeks just leading up to a performance. So they might have 2 weeks of performances and 3 weeks. So one of the rehearsal halls could be tied up for 3 weeks during the day just for one show, one company. So you start putting together all the community users and the different times of days. Professionals rehearse generally during the day. Amateurs generally rehearse in the evening, so we can multi-use rooms. I think the community demand is there. 2009, we did some community consultation asking 23 different performance groups here in town, and we accounted for an interest in 26 weeks of use, right even before we opened the doors.
Wow.
So
that says a lot.
Amazing, absolutely. I think the demand for the space is there.
Awesome, thank you so much, Bruce. And now we're going to throw things over to This Week in BC. You're watching Go Island, the weekend edition here on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Rayanne LaPlante. We're here at the Port Theatre talking about the possibility of a community performing arts center. Now, back in '98, the Port Theatre raised over $13 million to get this facility going. Now, the Port Theatre is hoping to raise $12 million to get the community performing arts center going. Speaking about community support, we're going to meet a lovely young boy who is able to walk and take his first steps for the first time thanks to the Nanaimo CDC and Variety BC. In the sailing world, the captain's seat is usually dominated by males, but not with this wife and husband group. But first, we'll throw things over to Kelly that shows us that sailing is for all ages. Judy Bunn hopes to race her sailboat Rags in the 2014 Swiftsure International Yacht Race on May 24th to May 26th. Now we're going to throw things over to the next episode of our Vitas RV Island Adventures. You're watching Go Island, the weekend edition here on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Rayanne LaPlante. We're here at the open house for the Community Performing Arts Center, and if it does go through, the plan is projected that it will open in 2017. Now this idea, this dream of the Port Theatre has been in the works for a number of years. Speaking of turning an old idea into a new one, we meet up with an artist that loves to recycle with her artwork. But first, we throw things over to a world-class potter. You're watching Go Island, the weekend edition here on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Rayanne LaPlante, and we're here at the Port Theatre discussing the possibility of having a community theatre, stage, rehearsals, all in one building, right attached to the Port Theatre. I'm here with Chris from the city of Nanaimo, and why is now the time for Nanaimo to have this theatre group?
Well, from the city's perspective, City Council recently adopted a cultural plan, and the plan itself actually has a clear direction to support the idea of creating a small theater and rehearsal space. So we're very supportive of the concept and the proposal, and that's kind of where we stand with it right now.
And when you say supportive, is that financially or just a pat on the back?
Well, I think a bit of both. I mean, there'll be support for going through this public process to review what the community thinks of the idea. And then there will be a proposal that goes to City Council in the fall looking for both pitching the concept of an expansion theater, but also looking for financial support as well.
Okay. And I know some people might be wondering that recently it wasn't approved that the Nanaimo Center Stage didn't get the funding they needed. Was that to help this development? Or are the two connected at all?
No, both. They're two independent concepts. Of course, we're also supportive of small theater proposals wherever they may be, and we're actually looking at the idea of making arrangements with a new management team to continue running the Victoria Road Theatre as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. And now we're going to throw things over to Clocks. Great job, boys, at another victory, although I'm pretty sure you guys cheat. You spend way too much time actually reading the clue before the clock starts. If you have an idea that will help stump the boys, you can contact Kate at kate.bergen@sjrb.ca. So we're standing outside the Port Theatre looking at where the planned Community Performing Arts Center will be. If it does go ahead, it's going to be up right there at the Diana Krall Plaza. Thank you for watching this weekend's edition of Go Island. See you next time.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Center, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions.